Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a Rollins Ever After with Katrina
and Teray. Sorry about a bit of the wait. I was actually getting adjusted to being back at work full-time hours. So it was fun getting a little bit of that rest,
Right.
But now I'm back to work. So we're back here today to talk about a new topic, something that I think will be pretty interesting for people who actually are married, or if you're in a serious relationship where you get to see each other's, income and just finances. So the topic for today is going to be finances when married. Will it be the same account or different accounts? Will it be, if I want to make a big purchase, do I have to, ask for permission? Does she have to ask for permission when it comes to big purchases? And lastly, we want to also talk about lending money when it comes to family and close friends. Accounts together or accounts separate. Now, we know what we do.
Right.
But did you always think we would do that?
Well, I wanted to make a note. So we're just saying what we do.
Right.
Our situation, not only do we have two people with an income, but two people with an equal income. So that actually kind of dictates what we do with our finances. I think it would be a different scenario if, let's say, one person stayed at home, especially if they had kids, or if one person made significantly less. So this is not going to be, the blueprint for everybody.
Yeah.
It's just what we do in the situation we found ourselves in as two people who kind of match on that financial level. I guess I always thought we would just have one joint account.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it that much. You think about marriage, but you don't really think about the whole financial aspect. But I guess I just always assumed we would have one account together, and we would just pull out of that account like a big pot. What did you think?
Well, honestly, I've always thought about having just multiple streams of income and multiple pots of money. So I don't really look at it as, we're just putting everything into one account. And I guess I don't think about it in a traditional sense of the word. I usually think about it in a way where, especially if we're making a certain amount of money, should I tell them? I'll tell them. So I have an account. She has an account. We have an account. I have an investment account. She has an investment account. We have an investment account. That's basically how we do our money,
Right.
And we have spending money, and she has spending money.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it just goes back to my own personality. I'm actually, I'm a free spirit, but in a way, I'm actually very I don't know what the word is for that.
Type A?
Maybe type A, I guess you could say that. But in my mind, I'm always thinking of, okay, how do we create more money? Or how do we manage more money? And if you have it in different areas, and I feel like if you're growing it in different areas, you're more reluctant to touch a certain area because you have money here, you have money there. So that's, the reason why it is the way that it is. Like she says, it probably would be different if, we didn't match as far as income is concerned. What do you think? Do you like it?
I love it. Before we got married, obviously we both had our own checking account, our own savings account, our own investments. So actually when we first that was London. Actually when we first got married, I think it took us 2 to 3 years
to merge our accounts, yeah.
Right. And we didn't even merge our accounts. We kind of added each other onto our accounts. And then we created a joint checking account and a joint savings account. And I feel that we did that within the last year. But I love it because we both work really hard. So I think we should be able to spend our money how we please as long as bills are paid. And I know that's usually a big question. A lot of people ask, how do you divvy up bills? We do split our mortgage evenly, and then other bills, it's not split down the middle, but we kind of each just took a bill and whatever.
Right. So,
and I'll pay for the trip stuff like up front, and like while we're on the trip, maybe he'll pay more stuff. So it's just like that. Like, we don't keep a tally. The only thing that we know, okay, we split down the middle, is the mortgage, because that's like our biggest expense. But other than that, we don't keep a tally. As long as things are paid, that's all that matters. And then I like the fact, okay, I have my money, I can get my nails done, I can get my hair done, I can do whatever I want, buy clothes. I don't have to ask anybody because the bills are paid. I'm also saving money, so I can do what I want with my money. And same thing for him.
Right now, there is a limit to that. Obviously, based on the amount of money something costs, I don't consult if I'm going to buy, if I'm going to buy $50, but if I'm thinking about going to get, a Gucci bag or, Gucci,
Wait,
you know what I mean?
No.
What?
You have come home with Louboutin shoes.
But Louboutin shoes and a Gucci briefcase are two completely different.
Okay, I guess.
Those are completely different amounts.
Okay.
So no, still, yeah.
But I may make a joke about like, haha, you bought like $1,000 shoes, which is crazy. But he does it like once or twice a year. So it's not a problem.
All the time.
Yeah, I buy clothes all the time.
Every
So
month.
it ends up being the same by the end of the year.
Right.
So
See, look at that. But a Gucci briefcase, and I keep saying that because I've been looking at Gucci briefcases. I can't afford it. I don't have Gucci briefcase money. But Gucci briefcase is like $4,000, $5,000, or something like that.
Definitely something like that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not
talk with each other.
Right. I would be in trouble if I spent that type of money.
Well,
I don't think we can.
And it's not that we're asking permission. We like kind of talk about it. So like this bar, we have been talking about, we're going to get a bar, we're going to get a bar, we're going to get a bar. So we both knew in our head, okay, we're going to get a bar. We know that's like, a couple $1,000, whatever. He just went out and bought the bar and was like, oh, I got the bar.
But we did talk about it.
Right. So it wasn't like I was completely sidetracked. So we don't ask permission, really.
Well, this also wasn't a couple $1,000. I caught it on sale.
Okay,
so
good.
Since I caught it on sale, it was only a few $100s.
Okay.
It just
I didn't even know that. I assumed it. I didn't even ask him how much it cost.
I'm not
I'm
crazy. not crazy, guys.
Yeah, so we don't really ask permission. We just kind of talk it out and say, okay, is this something that we need right now?
We respect each other.
Like the laptop. Now, the laptop we did talk about. We both got new laptops last year, and we did talk about that. Like, do we really need these laptops? I definitely needed one because I was making videos. I was starting to get on YouTube, and my old laptop was not conducive for that. And even just getting that new laptop, I've seen the quality of my videos dramatically increase because my other laptop couldn't save HD videos. So I did need that. For me, that was like a business investment. It was actually a gift though from him. And then, he was saying, oh, I want a laptop too. And I'm like, do you really need a laptop? But we did talk about it, and then And
I do need a laptop because I am taking classes for something that I'll talk about probably on a future video.
Okay,
Once it's all finished. I don't want to talk about it until it's done.
Yeah.
But I did end up needing a laptop.
That's true.
So yes. it worked out.
It did work out.
It worked out for the both of us. And I guess, in summation, again, I've said it before, but we just respect each other.
Right.
If it's something that I think is completely ridiculous, unneeded, I'm not going to buy it in general, but I'm definitely going to give her the heads up, like, hey, I was thinking about buying this or that. Obviously, with COVID going on and, hours being changed and, all types of things going on, I'm not spending any money at all. And
right.
She's not spending. We're talking about.
We've realized we can be frugal.
Yeah.
So really, we had the issue.
Right. We're circumstances
Yeah.
now. So we're talking about how things are normally. Now we are chilling out because who knows how long this is going to last. And I actually recommend that you all do the same because, you know, they may say we're going to open up, but they may close us back up. You may get your job back, but you may lose your job. So I always think a few steps ahead when it comes to finances like that. But otherwise, you know, I think that we have a pretty good thing. The accounts together, we're able to put that money together. Separate, it allows us to still have our own individual saving goals. At the end of the day, when you're married, it all belongs to us. It's all hers. It may have her name on it, but it's mine. It may have my name on it, but it's hers. You know, so it just allows us to save money a lot faster. When I've had my own savings account or my own checking account, as a single person, I would have my money split up: a savings account, a checking account, and savings account. So I had 3 accounts just for myself, not including investment accounts, because that's how I trick myself to save more money. Yeah. You know, so together it just seemed to work out like that.
And since we also have like the house, we have like that joint saving account for things for the house.
Yeah.
Because with a house, the expenses can really add up. Because I feel like there's always something going on with the house that needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
So I think just in general, we have the separate accounts, but we have access to each other's accounts. But I don't go snooping in his account and see what he does. I don't care. But I like the fact that it's separate because if I do need to get something, I can just get it. I mean, you don't have to worry about maybe you're disadvantaging the other person. Maybe they were thinking about getting something out of that account. So I do like the fact that it's separate so that, okay, I can kind of make my purchases and manage that. He can manage his own purchases, and then we manage together.
Right. And I was going to say, because we do, you know, deal with those separate accounts, the accounts that we have together, those just get money added to it. It's very rare that those accounts get money taken out of them.
Right.
You know, because of that. So I do like that.
Yeah. So it's like more having an extra savings account that we have.
So how do you feel about lending family members money?
I don't know if I can really answer that because I mean, I don't know. I don't really lend money.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have before. I feel like, you know, if it's something someone really needs, I do give, and I really don't expect to ever get it back, even if it is for like a business opportunity or something. You know, I'm like this, my family, I give freely. However, I'm the baby of the family, so nobody's really asking me for money, to be honest. You know, I'm the youngest child, so we just don't have that dynamic. So I don't have too many thoughts about it because it doesn't really come up for me.
So I, being the oldest, being more of just, like I said, I'm not the baby of the family. I'm the oldest of the family. And, you know, I'm the person that probably has gotten to a point where I can lend money, you know. So I do find myself in a position where, you know, people ask, friends, family, I'm just in that position where people feel close enough to me that they feel like they can ask. And sometimes they're willing to give the money back, or they say they're going to give it back. Sometimes they can't give it back. Sometimes it's like a gift. And I've learned to, you know, being in a marriage, you know, whereas when it used to be just me by myself, I'm the type of person that I will give it and give it and give it and give it and give it until there's nothing left. That's just how I am. I was raised like that.
Well, you're a good person.
Yeah. but I was just like that. Well, you know, I will give you my last. My mom is like that. She'll give you her last. You know, so that's just how I was raised. But I had to learn, you know, when you're in a partnership, I'm not just giving away my money. I'm giving away our money.
Yeah.
You know, this is us, our money, and it's not, and no longer is it just money for, you know, a $600 rent in Tallahassee or in Daytona, where it doesn't, you know, necessarily matter, and you know your car's paid off and all these things. Now you're giving away money that could have went to
this
mortgage, right? It could have went to either of these expensive car notes, or either of the million bills I paid, or either of the nice trips that you book, and all these different things that honestly, you know, if we come short, there's no one in a big brother position for me that, or a big cousin, or a, you know, a best friend position for me to be able to help. So I have, you know, learned how to dial down with that and only give in positions where I feel comfortable not receiving the money back.
Right.
You know, so
don't think you're loaning.
You're not loaning anything. You're giving
right.
it away, and if you're okay with that and you're good with that, cool. But with finances, again, having my wife here, I just learned to dial that down, and actually I think that she's helped me with that as well, because if I didn't have her to think about, I probably would never be able to move to the next level, because I would just give away everything I have before I even got there. So
yeah, I can see that, because I think you weren't even thinking about getting a house. You know, like I was the one who was like, "No, let's get a house. We can do it. We can save."
I had no thoughts on the house.
Yeah,
I was content renting.
Right.
I wanted to save a whole bunch of money, but I didn't do a whole lot with my money. I just wanted to save and hoard it, you know?
Yeah. So I think, you know, once you do get with someone and you guys start building a life and you start having more expenses, it does become important to kind of discuss with your partner if you are lending out money, because like we said, that is something that, okay, now this is affecting, you know, the life we're trying to build together.
Right.
We've been very blessed. So, you know, we're always happy to help when needed, but you can't help to the point where now it's hurting you. And
right.
I don't think it's fair for you to work very hard and you don't get to enjoy your money at all. If
right.
that's the point, I could just stay home and not work.
Okay.
You know? Right. So if you work very hard, don't feel guilty for going on vacation, you know, buying your shoe. Like, don't feel guilty for doing that. You worked hard for this.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a balance. So yes, you can give, but don't do it to the point where now you're in debt because you're trying to help everybody else.
Okay. So, I mean, I feel like we touched on quite a few subjects.
Yes.
As far as the financing and just having it together and managing it together. I've learned that, you know, together, you have to manage your finances as if you're CEO of your own company. You got to watch the money coming in. You got to watch the money coming out. You got to look at the overhead. How much is the overhead? Is the overhead higher than the amount that you're bringing in? You have to think of those things, and just, you know, whether that has to do with you spending all the money that you get before you get it, or you're making big purchases, or you're giving money to family. So either way, you know, we're definitely on top of it now. Thank God. I feel like we're blessed. And, you know, that's pretty much it for me. Is there anything you're thinking?
Well, I was going to say also like each other's debt. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's good to discuss that as well, because sometimes, you know, you could just be thinking, oh, everything's fine, and the things are going like on credit cards. So you gotta watch that as well.
Right.
If you decide to have separate credit cards and not one. Right. If you have one, it's a little bit easier to actually see, okay, what's building on that. But once it is separate, you do have to be transparent and have those type of conversations with each other.
And lastly, especially when you're saying that, pay particular attention to your credit utilization when you're talking about doing things together that require credit. So if we're talking about getting a house, we're getting, you know, our next house will be our, you know, we're talking about getting a bigger house the next time around. When we do that, it's important to discuss, okay, how much is on that credit, on your credit card? Because if the utilization is higher than it needs to be, you need to start developing a plan now on lowering that utilization so it gets to a point where it can increase your credit. And that way together, we can end up getting a much better tier.
Right.
So those are things to talk about. Outside of that, I think that, we pretty much hit it on the head. Let us know if there's any other questions that you have about, financing together, you and your spouse or your significant other.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to do what works for you and your partner. It's going to be different for everyone. This is kind of what works for us. And, it's just our scenario. We do have equal income levels. But obviously, if one person makes so much more than the other, they'll probably split the bill separately, things like that. If someone stays at home, that could be the woman or the man. Obviously, it'll be a different scenario. So this is just kind of what we do. But I think as long as you have respect, you guys talk about big purchases, and you understand that, okay, this is a person who's working hard for their money. They can enjoy their money. Exactly. I think as long as you have that type of understanding, finances shouldn't be a huge issue. It really hasn't been an issue for us.
No,
I know they say that's like one of the main reasons why marriages don't work, but yeah. I don't think we've had any issues.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think we have. Well, I'm not going from wood.
Yeah.
Right? But no, it seems like everything has been fine. And just so you know, on another note, I actually should have said this in the beginning, but this topic was a topic that was asked on our Facebook. We actually put out a couple weeks ago what were some topics that you wanted us to discuss, and this was actually one of those topics. So just keep that coming if you can in the comments. If there's any other topics you want us to discuss or any other questions that you may have, we think it's a lot more interesting to talk about things when it's in an interactive type of way, if it's something that you're asking. So let us know, okay? And,
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching A Rollins Ever After, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.